is Jara. I teach people how to garden and grow food, but today I'm going to teach you how to make loofah soap because I grew a ton of loofah this season and I have just started harvesting the loofahs for sponges. And I have a lot. I'm like, what am I going to do with all of this? So I decided to get crafty and make some simple soaps with the loofah inside of it, so they're really good to scrub your body with. And today, my helper is Roland, my son. He likes to do all these little craft projects with me, right?
Yes.
All right, so we're both gonna make our own loofah soaps. All right, so let me start by saying I am not a professional at making soaps, but this is very, very easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So let me just show you all the different supplies that you need to get in order to make these soaps. And down in the description, obviously I'll link to Amazon where you can find all of these. So first off, you need a soap base. So I found this 5-pound block of soap base on Amazon. It comes in lots of different kinds. You have olive oil bases, goat milk bases, oatmeal, and honey. I mean, there's so many. I chose the olive oil one because it's like extra moisturizing on the skin and it doesn't have like a really strong fragrance because I'm going to be adding my own fragrance to it. So this one works great for me. And then you're going to need something to cut this big chunk of soap with. So this is a cutter made specifically for cutting chunks of soap. And I got this as a kit. It came with another cutter and another soap mold, but it was really inexpensive and I plan on making a lot of different kind of soaps in the future. So it's just good to have. It just makes slicing into this chunk a lot easier. All right, and next you're gonna need like your fragrances. I like to use fragrance oils. I did get a couple of them on Amazon at some point. This is a mango fragrance and a coconut. I really like to mix these two together. But my favorite actually is this website. It's a company, they're called Indigo Fragrances. And their fragrance oils are really potent and they smell so good. And I'm a big fan of Lush products, but they discontinued my favorite fragrance and they had a dupe copycat of that fragrance. So I was so happy to find this and just make my own at home. So of course I'll link to this below. You're gonna need something to color your soaps. I have tried to make soaps with adding drops of liquid colors, but for whatever reason, it wasn't very strong. They didn't look that great. Maybe it was just the liquid brand that I bought, I don't know. But this time I'm gonna try the mica powders because you only need a little bit of these and it goes a long way. Then you're gonna need some soap molds. These are silicone molds, so they're really easy to pop the soaps out once they're, set. And these two molds are made specifically the perfect height that you need for making loofah soaps. This is a loofah soap mold, so get these, they're great. I like to use a serrated knife to cut down my loofah. This was one big loofah, so I already cut it down because I like to soak them in some soap and a little bit of bleach just to clean them out really nice. So I had to cut it down already. I should have left it intact to show you guys, but this was one big loofah and I have more. So I'm gonna use this serrated knife to cut them a little bit thinner so they'll fit into our molds. And lastly, you're gonna need some like Pyrex glassware to melt the soap base in here. You melt the soap base in your microwave, so it's really easy to do. And I like that it has a spout so you can easily pour things out. But I only have one of these and we wanna make different colors and things like that. So I'm also gonna use like these, I don't know what they're called, like to-go canisters that restaurants use. I get my wonton soup in these and I save them. They're really nice and flexible, so I can melt my soap in here, put my colors, my fragrance oil, and then kind of bend it to simply pour it out. Then you might need a couple of the large popsicle sticks just to stir everything together. All right, buddy, so let's get started, yeah?
Yay! I'm so excited.
All right, let's cut this big block of soap. All right, so we're gonna start cutting this into smaller cubes that we will melt down in the microwave. And I don't have a real recipe for all of this. I mean, you can eyeball it. It's not that hard to do. You just, add enough fragrance oil to your liking, add enough colors to your liking, and that's pretty much it. All right, so we cut them into small little cubes, just something to make it easier to melt in the microwave. And we're gonna do several colors. So I have 1 cup for one color and 1 cup for the other. Okay, so now I have to cut down the loofahs to size to fit in these molds. All right, they fit pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So to melt the soap, you're gonna wanna microwave it for 30 seconds, give it a good stir, and then put it back in at 10-second intervals until it's completely melted. All right, let's mix in our fragrances. A good way to gauge if you put enough fragrance oil is if you can smell it, you put enough. All right, so we're gonna use 1/16 of a teaspoon for these colors.
Oh, it's very good.
It is?
Yeah, see?
I really like these mica colors. They have like a glittery, metallic kind of shine to them. All right, so everything's mixed. It's time to pour. All right, buddy, so you're gonna grab your cup and you're gonna squeeze it like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna pour it at the same time. Very slowly. You on one side slowly and me on the other side slowly. All right, so we're almost done here. We're mixing the last batch. The only thing I would say here is that you do have to work kind of fast because these soaps start to set pretty quickly. And I made about 12 bars of soap here. We used about half of that 5-pound brick of olive oil soap base, just to give you an idea of how much you'll need. And we're gonna let these set for at least 24 hours before we attempt to pop them out of the molds. I couldn't wait 24 hours. I checked up on them about 4 hours later and they are solid as a brick. So we're gonna start popping them out. Ours came out kind of clear, as you can see, because my soap base is clear. This is the olive oil soap base. But you can get soap bases that are like the goat's milk or the oatmeal, and they have more of like an opaque, creamy type of look to them, or white. So the colors, you know, obviously when you add the colors to them, they're gonna stand out a little bit differently than they would on this clear stuff. But this is really pretty, and it has like glittery pieces because of the mica powders. And there's so many other things you can do with these. You could add dried flowers to them or herbs. You could put in some essential oils. I mean, it's endless, really. There's so many different things you can make with these soap bases. And here's a close-up view of all of them. As you can see, the mica powder gives kind of like a glitter effect on some of these. But yeah, this was a very fun project to do, very easy, especially if you've never made soap before. You could definitely give it a try, and it's a great way to use up a lot of those loofah sponges.